This is Loan Officer Blueprints. I'm Zoaz Zabuki with Edge Home Finance. And on this portion of the channel, we're talking about how you as a loan officer can take your mortgage career to the next level. We believe that the first step of the blueprint is for you to actually become a broker, a mortgage broker. And we believe there's no better place to do that than with Edge Home Finance. And I love these loan officer testimonials because it's social proof. It's people, real people like me and you who have actually made the transition. And today I have none other but Cory Bohman with us. How you doing, Cory? Good to see you.
I'm doing really well. How are you?
I'm great. We missed you at this. We missed you at the whole AIM Fuse this weekend. It's not the same when the group is together without you.
I know. I had what the kids called FOMO as I was watching you guys post all your stuff. I really missed out, and I will not miss another one. It looked fantastic.
Right on. Yeah, we had a good time. But yeah, appreciate you being on with me today. So real quick, tell us how you transitioned, where you were before, what was your setup before you became a mortgage broker with Edge?
Okay, so my history is I was in operations for the longest time. I was in mortgage lending operations for 25 years, running underwriting, running closing. I even worked as a loan officer assistant when I knew that I wanted to transition over to being a loan officer. So I've actually only been a loan officer since I got licensed as an LOA over the summer of 2018, and then closed my first loan, moved over to retail in February of 2019, and then became a broker with Edge Home Finance in November of 19. And I've never looked back since. I've never been so happy in my entire career.
Yeah. And by the way, you are killing it. I'm so impressed and inspired by just your growth and your activity. Okay. So a real big question for you is, what's one reason that you're happy you made the switch to Edge Home Finance?
You know, my number one biggest reason, I have a whole list of reasons, but my number one reason is I love the control I have over the file. And that's everything from being able to do my own pricing, get my loan into underwriting, speak directly with the underwriter, push out my own closing docs. My whole mantra and what I put on my business cards is mortgage loans simplified. The whole reason I moved over to sales is I watched my sales guys, they just made it so hard. And it doesn't have to be that hard. You know, if you know your guidelines, you know your programs, it doesn't have to be that hard. And I wanted it to be much easier for our clients. And the broker world and Edge Home Finance in particular has just made that possible to the 10th degree. I was doing it as soon as I moved into sales, but it would take me at least 30 days to move a file from submission to closing and funding. And as a broker, my average CTC without an appraisal is 3 days, and it's 8 days with an appraisal. And that's from submission to funding. So the control is amazing.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that's a great point because a lot of people maybe have a misconception of, understanding, like, do I lose control being a mortgage broker, working with partner wholesale lenders? But you actually have more control. There's access to, like you said, you can actually call an underwriter directly and speak to them. And I know a lot of lenders on the retail side, the underwriter's like no touch. You can't call them, you can't speak to them, and speak to that element a little bit more. Just the element of like the communication points when you're actually going through that process.
Absolutely. The number one thing when I was at a retail office that they would say to counteract if somebody was out of state or if they were a broker was, oh, but I can just walk down the hall and talk to my underwriter. That's not how it works. And anyone that has worked in retail knows that. If I needed something from an underwriter, I would walk down the hall, and then I got to stand outside her office with a line of 3 or 4 other people. There was constantly a line to see her. I may get the information that I needed after losing that hour, but I had to look up my own guidelines and know what I was going in to ask anyway. Now I pick up the phone, I've got somebody within 30 seconds, and I've got my answer at the end of a 2-minute conversation. I also love every underwriting approval I get, my underwriter calls me directly and we go over every point on that approval. When I was in retail, that didn't happen. You just learned that you had the approval by looking at the system and seeing the status update, but nobody talked to me. Nobody would say, like, it's very common now, hey, Cory, I see what you did on your income. Thanks for the explanation. This is the challenge that we're having. And we could talk through it together. And by the end of the conversation, 9 times out of 10, the condition's cleared. And on that 10th time that it's not, I know exactly what I have to get to clear it. And it's still done by the end of the day.
Yeah.
So it's so much faster. And I love one of the stopping points or speed bumps when I was in retail was getting that initial closing disclosure out. We could not get it until we had all the conditions signed off. I get my initial closing disclosure now at submission. As long as I have the 3 items that I need, I can get my initial closing disclosure out, and that's how I close so quickly now. Again, it's having a piece of the process within my control and in my client's control.
Yeah.
I had a client tell me yesterday, oh my gosh, this was so easy. Have you guys changed the forms since I bought my last house 5 years ago? No, they're the same forms. I just explained them all to you. But the process doesn't have to be as convoluted or as complicated as it probably was when he closed his last loan.
Yeah.
And that loan I submitted yesterday morning. I had my conditional approval by noon. I got my initial closing disclosure out by 3. They got me the last 2 items I needed this morning, and I'm submitted for clear to close.
Wow.
I expect to have my clear to close this afternoon. This is for a purchase, and they're not closing until October 15th. But what a relief to them to have that off their shoulders.
Yeah.
Their loan's fully done.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Control ultimately leads to speed, ultimately leads to amazing service for the clients that we serve. Man, that says it all, Cory. Thank you so much for being on with me. That was awesome to hear. You
really
got one more
quick,
thing? Go
because
ahead.
I know we have to go, but
Yeah.
one thing is, what about the control for your realtor partners?
Mm.
I mean, isn't it so nice that I can tell my realtors exactly what's going on in their file? I got to call this listing agent and let him know, hey, your file's already clear to close. I did it in a couple of days. In fact, I talked to him this morning, and he's like, how do I do more business with you? Wouldn't the people that you're talking to that are interested in the broker world love more control with their realtor partners, so you're adding business on every transaction you do instead of making excuses?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, that's a great point to add there. Real estate agents are going to be more trusted. They're going to trust us more with their business. We're able to show them that level of performance on the loan. So, yeah, love it, Cory. Thank you so much again for being on. For everyone else out there, be sure to subscribe and check us out on the next video. We'll see you on the next video. Take care.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. If you found any of the content helpful, please subscribe, hit the notifications icon so that you can be informed of the next video upload. And if you're a loan officer that's interested in joining Edge and you think it might be the right fit for you, please give me a call or text so that we can set up a demo. Hope to hear from you soon.